Our company has been successfully manufacturing pharmaceuticals for various purposes for 20 years. We follow the development of science in the field of pharmaceuticals. We analyze and implement new technologies. We constantly update our product line. At our enterprise, we have various equipment for production of medicines, from granulator to self-adhesive labels automatic line. 5 years ago, our plant joined a major holding company for the production of medicines and biological supplements in the Krasnodar region. The accession gave us the opportunity to increase our production capacity and upgrade our equipment. I have been working as a chief engineer for 10 years and know all the technological processes well. I made the choice of new equipment independently, agreeing it with the management before purchase. It was not an easy job. There are a lot of equipment on the market. The geography of manufacturers has expanded. Competition has increased, which in turn has affected the quality of the equipment. Update of the main equipment resulted in the replacement of spare parts, connection elements, pumping stations, which are technically outdated and do not fit the new equipment. In the production of pharmaceuticals, it is often necessary to supply solution from large reservoirs. Pumps or pumping stations are used to ensure this process. The right choice of pumping station solves the problem of getting the solution, liquid, to a particular installation. On the choice of the pump, its type depends. Will the further process work under specific conditions? To choose the right type of pump, it was necessary to determine its desired technological parameters, head and flow rate, which characterize the ability of the equipment to supply the required amount of solution with the required pressure. I am used to doing my job qualitatively and work only with specialists. To the selection of equipment for pumping liquids, I went seriously. To search for a pump, I did not use the internet, because often a pretty picture hides unprofessionalism. I visited the International Exhibition of Equipment, Raw Materials and Technologies for Pharmaceutical Production that was held in Moscow. There were many pumps at the exhibition, from different manufacturers, from different countries of the world. The most popular among the manufacturers were hermetically sealed pumps with magnetic coupling, plunger pumps, gear pumps. I planned to decide which type of pump to choose for our production upon arrival to the enterprise. At the exhibition, I took contacts from their representatives of 2 enterprises which could, according to the catalog presented by them, produce various configurations of pumping devices for liquids. When I returned to the plant, I started contacting representatives of the equipment manufacturers by telephone. A third manufacturer from Krasnodar listened to me and said that he could produce equipment only in 10 months, citing the large volume of orders. I had to refuse, because the modernization must be done within 6 months. Equipment had to be found and bought, necessarily. I was not able to do it myself. This somewhat diminished my confidence. I planned to find a specialist in the supply of pharmaceutical equipment, who will give me good advice, and can deliver the pumping station within 2 months. I decided to look online for companies that supply pharmaceutical equipment. I wanted a professional, who had been in the pharmaceutical equipment supply business for a long time, and had positive customer reviews. I chose 3 of the most presentable companies. I looked at the company's time in the equipment supply market, the company's website, and the machine's delivery terms as criteria. I phoned all the companies to be sure of the manager's professionalism. The specialist of one company said to wait for 5 minutes, but never listened to me. I didn't like such an attitude to the customer. The manager of another company from Saratov talked to me politely, asked questions about the required capacity of pumps, manufacturing time. In 5 days, I received from them to the mail 10 variants of different machines, and an offer to make a choice on their own. I understood that they have no professional approach, and will not help me in my search for the equipment. The last, third option of the intermediary from Moscow turned out to be successful for me. The male manager talked to me like a professional. He asked me specific questions about the purpose of the pump station, the required head, and the flow rate. During the consulting stage, he chose a pump for pumping slurry. I decided to study the proposed option carefully, and if I liked it, I agreed with the management. The company specialist emailed me the technical data sheet and instructions for the equipment. I carefully studied the features of the pump and its characteristics, looked at the reviews of the proposed equipment on the internet, and came to the conclusion that this is a good option. The pumping station was acceptable in characteristics and quality. Within a week, we made a contract for delivery of the equipment. The manager informed us 2 weeks in advance and delivered the machine a week later. We were pleased with the mortar pump recommended and delivered by the manager of this company. Initially, I had doubts about finding the right equipment, but after receiving competent advice, I became more confident. In any case, it is better to turn to a professional, and then your task will not seem so difficult.